Hello everyone and welcome to my new video. What is this video about? Well, what I would like to do is I would like to try and create a live project that is reminiscent of classic cinematic tension film music from the 20th century. Perhaps a little bit of a departure from what I might normally do on this channel, but I'm going to do it anyway. I've been writing some new music, and one thing I wanted to do whilst writing this new music was use a new scale or some new scales which I've never used before. And through doing that, I've had some interesting adventures and made some interesting discoveries, perhaps not for the rest of the whole world, but for me, they have been very interesting. And one of them was I wanted to do something in the the half step, whole step diminished scale, sometimes called the octatonic scale, sometimes called the polytonic. I've heard it called polytonic. I don't know if that's a thing, but certainly octatonic. It's 8 notes. It's sometimes also just known as a straight up diminished scale. There's actually 2 versions. There's the whole step, half step, whole step, half step, whole step, and it repeats until you get to the octave. And there's the half step whole. I'm going to go with the half step, whole step. This is an incredibly interesting scale because you can only play it in so many places before it just wraps back around again. I think you can play it in 3 places. So if you did it in C, then you can play C and then do a half step. Or you can do C sharp and then do a half step, or D and then do a half step. And then that's it. You can't do any more because it's all the same notes. It's very weird. And also what's incredibly interesting about it is that there's so many sort of strange chords in it. I was turned on to this because I was interested in this thing that like Alan Silvestri, particularly some soundtracks from the 80s, all sort of really sounded the same. I was like, why does the soundtrack from Back to the Future 2 sound the same as Predator? I was like, and I did some research and it was like, oh, well, because he likes to do things in octatonics. And I was like, what on earth is that? And I went and looked it up, and it turns out lots of people have used this, Jerry Goldsmith in Total Recall, and I think maybe a little bit of Ennio Morricone in certain places. And I thought to myself, right, I want to have a go at that. So we're going to do that in Ableton, and we're going to do it with some scale-aware trickery. And I'm going to do all the instrumentation using Reason Studios 13 VST. Some more old-school fans of this channel will remember I used to do a lot of videos in Reason, and I'm trying to get back into it. It's just taking me a little bit of time to re-familiarize myself. But there are some incredibly brilliant, amazing instruments in Reason currently, and it's obviously been a VST now for quite some time, and I've been trying to explore it and get back into it. I think it's really good, so that's what I'm going to do. So to start with, why don't we get a Reason rack plugin, put it in here, and let's get in. These processed pianos are very, very, very good. Yeah, I'm not sure about all this reverb though. Let's turn that reverb off. I kind of just want a dry dry piano sound. I don't really know this processed pianos thing very well. Some of these instruments are quite new to me, but that's fun. I like that. We can explore. Let's go back to this one. Okay, that's fine. So I have enabled the C half step, whole step diminished scale in this scale mode here. So the push is now locked to that scale. Now, this is going to be, perhaps for some of you, a little bit of a boring music theory mini lecture, but I don't care. You're going to have to sit through it because we need to work out what we're going to do before we get to the fun stuff. So I'm going to put in this MIDI monitor thing. Right, so it goes. Your root note, half step, whole step, half step, whole step, half step, whole step, half step, whole step. Now, what's interesting about this is that the chords that you get in here are really all over the place. It's so incredibly dense with harmonic possibilities that it's kind of really difficult to know where to go, which is kind of why I think it's quite good for building classic sort of tension music, cinematic tension music. So for example, now I'm doing this on the push. In fact, I've got my keyboard. For example, if you look down here where I'm playing down here on the MIDI monitor. So you can see they're highlighted here on the push. If I sort of do this chord here, this is a C major. But you'll see that actually there's also C minor. Those notes are in the scale. That's just weird. So we've got the root note of the scale has a major and a minor chord associated with it. If we move that like up, then we get this kind of minor chord. Then we get another major chord. Then another minor chord. Then another major chord. And another minor chord. So it's like we're going major, minor, major, minor, major, minor, which is incredibly weird. Or we can go minor, major, minor, major. It's like some sort of weird, to me, it's like some sort of weird kind of illusion or puzzle. So it's like, it's if you start with the major chord, it goes major, minor, major, minor. Or if you start with the minor chord, it goes minor, major, minor, major. Incredibly weird. We are going to have some fun with that. So to start with, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make a C2 down here. Just a C2 in the MIDI clip. I can close this device now. Don't need that. Right. Going to make this 2 bars long. Let's legato that. And I'm just going to drop in a load of scale-aware MIDI stuff and just kind of get it to make something up for me, see what happens. So I think to start with, I'll just get a chord in, turn on the scale button, and I'll just dial this to whatever, 3. I'm just going to scramble all these anyway. 5, 7, 8, whatever, 10. Just dial all these up to 13. Okay, and then I'm 15. Right, now I'm going to go to the chance. I'm going to set these all to something like 10%, but I'm going to leave the first one at 100%. Okay. Then I'm going to go and get an arpeggiator. Put the arpeggiator in here. Then I'm going to go get the random. I'm going to put the random before the chord. I'm going to turn on the scale button. I'm going to set it to bidirectional. Maybe have something like 8 choices because there are 8 notes in the scale. Let's put this up to, let's put it all the way up. And then let's get another one, duplicate that and put that there. All right, let's listen to that, see what that's like. All right, interesting. Just going to turn off my keyboard. I don't need it anymore. Let's up the tempo a little bit. Let's go to 175, quite fast, because I want it to be quite sort of pulsing. Yeah. All right. It's a little bit rigid. Feel is a little bit rigid, so I'm going to get a velocity plug in here and put this at the end, right, just put that there. Don't need that MIDI monitor thing anymore. And I'm going to automate the output high of the velocity. So let's open the clip editor, get this all here like this, go to envelopes, click that. Now we've got control over that. So I'll set a low value, put a node in there, and then go up to something like 76% and a little bit of random, and then we'll get something like this. All right. Maybe another random plugin after the velocity, just a little bit of chance, so it just injects a few little scale-aware notes, not too many. Let's put the choices down to 5. Okay, that's fun. Okay, I think I'm going to duplicate that. And for the second one, what could we do with the second one? I want to have it more like a kind of... This could kind of be like a sort of bass line or something. Not really a bass line, but it's kind of in the upper mids. I want to do something more in the mids, going into the high mids. So I'll first put this to 16th notes. Let's actually... What's going on with this MIDI note here? Let's have a look at this. So yeah, we're going for 2 bars. Okay, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the expression control in, and I'm going to get the note length in. Did I just drop that in? Yes, I did. Right. I'm going to go to random, click remote, click map, and map that to the note length. So when the MIDI note gets triggered, it's going to randomize the length at which, how long it gets held for, which is going to make an impact on the phrasing, the sort of the length of this passage. We'll sort of listen to this by itself. Okay. Let's turn the maximum down. There we go. So we'll just get these little things. Yeah. Stuff like that. Yeah, little sort of... Yeah. Okay, let's put that up an octave. Sometimes it won't do anything. Slightly more amount for the range here. Let's bring back the bass line. So yeah, I sort of mapped this velocity, automated this velocity for this instrument. I don't really think it's necessary. So actually what we could do is just right click this and go delete automation. Wow. This one I'll just have the velocity all random. Yeah, and I think I want another note length after the arpeggiator with another expression control after the arpeggiator to randomize the note length. Yeah, so we get some little bit of sustain on the notes. And let's maybe do something a little bit more with this bass. Could maybe, yeah, let's get the expression control in to randomize the arpeggiator style. And I'd maybe like the note length here as well. Let's solo that. Yeah, could maybe do something like, have something like this. Nice. This is definitely working out for me. And I certainly want to randomize the arpeggiator style on this one as well. So I'll get an expression control here. Just bung that at the start. Oh, there's one there already. Didn't need to do that. Right, let's go here. Set this to random. Map that to the arpeggiator style on there. Okay. Now, let's bring in some more instruments. Turn that down a little bit. So, I think it's got to be said that some of the physical modeling instruments in Reason are absolutely out of this world. particularly friction and objects, which I'm going to be using quite a lot. I mean, even that just by itself says I'm just playing like the sort of triangle chord. But I don't really want to use the push that much, just want to do it all with MIDI clips. So what's interesting about this friction thing is that we've got ridiculous amount of models, violins, cellos, basses, some other stuff. But we've also got a huge amount of articulation that you can set by holding down a MIDI key or triggering a MIDI key at the same time that you trigger a note above C2. So I'm going to try and do some stuff with this. This is interesting stuff. So I'm going to make a clip here. I'm going to make one note on C1. I'm going to make the, on C2. I'm going to make the clip. I'll just close that down for a second. Don't need that. Make the clip 2 bars long and we'll legato that note. This is what we've got. Turn it up a bit. And I'm kind of going to do the same thing I did with the piano. Get a chord in, turn the scale button on, just dial in some scale degrees here. I don't really care what they are. Just spread them all apart like this. Get the chance, put the chance to something like 10% on some of these. Already it's sounding pretty high tension. And then get random in here, turn that on, turn that button, turn that button on, and put one over here as well. I like to do this quite a lot, have a random and then a chord and then a random. And then the arpeggiator, get the arpeggiator in. Now, there's some stuff that you can do with the mod wheel. You can assign the mod wheel to certain aspects of the articulation. I'm not going to use that so much for this, maybe for something else later on. I think I'm just going to automate the velocity again. So let's go and get the velocity plugin. A little bit of random, and then go to the envelope here. Find our lowest value, put a node in here, and then we'll go right up to something like this. Right, whoa, right up high like that. Right, a little bit of random. Okay, and then another expression control. Map the random to the arpeggiator style. Okay, get the note length in. Yeah, so after the arpeggiator, we'll get another expression control to randomize that note length. Let's put them next to each other. Now, in order to utilize this articulation stuff, I'm going to go back into this clip and I'm going to draw another note here on C1, legato that. Then I'm going to get all of these MIDI things, select them, group them, open out the chain editor, go to the key zones and just isolate this top chain from C2 upwards. And then I'm going to make another chain, put that from C1 to B1. And then on that chain, I'm going to put a random with 11 choices. Not going to use the scale awareness. This is just to randomize the note. And then if we go back here, we should see that it's going to randomize the articulation, which makes a huge difference. If we solo this, just to listen to the violin for a bit. I'll turn the reverb reverb off. I don't want the reverb. So all these really interesting phrases come out. And because we're locking everything to this half tone, whole tone thing, it's all just very intense. Kind of exciting. There's this doubling feature, which is kind of quite nice. You can sort of double up and then apply like a little bit of delay to each instance of the doubling. Now it's a little frantic. I'm just going to adjust the chance on all of these MIDI notes. So you got to remember that all of this stuff is just sort of being triggered by single MIDI notes, which is kind of fun. And then the MIDI effects do the rest of the work. So let's just go to the chance and let's just grab this note, give that like a 50% chance. Let's go to this one, grab that note, give that like a 50% chance. Just so that like instruments come in and out as and when they choose. Adds a little bit more to the sort of tension. Will it, won't it? Yeah. And then sometimes you get nothing. There we go. It's all starting to work now. This is what I'm after. This is what I'm after. This stuff. Yeah. Yeah. That was a little bit Back to the Future just then. Okay, now I want a cello. I'm going to go get another instance of friction. Load up friction here. Just a cello 2 I think is fine. Let's put that there. We're just going to kind of do exactly the same thing. Draw in a C2. Make the clip length 2 bars long. Legato that note. It's like now my project is soundtracking me doing the project. Okay, so now we need to make this sound good. Okay, right. So the same thing I did with everything else. So we'll get a chord, we'll turn the scale button on, just dial in some scale degrees here. Yeah. Maybe go down. Oh no, we can't. No, we won't go down because we can't go beneath C2. Okay, that's fine. Arpeggiator. Random. Scale button. Chance up. Another one after. And then another one after the arpeggiator. Less chance and less choices. And then another note on C1. Grab all these devices, group them, open the chain selector, create chain, go to the key chain, the key zones. And then we want a random here to randomize the articulation. No reverb. Two doubling. Maybe maybe I went a little bit too high on some of these intervals. So let's actually just do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then the chants, put the chants to 10%, 10%, 10%, 10%, 10%. Did I do that on this one as well? I feel like I didn't. Let's have a quick look. Oh, yes, I did. So yeah, this is really cool. This is one of my favorite things about where they've updated the chord thing, is that you can dial in the probability that a shift is included in the chord. So let's go into this clip, pull the chants down. I think again I would like maybe some note length stuff. Oh, hang on a minute. I need to do the chants on that one, not that one. That one needs to be 100% chant. Expression control after the arpeggiator. Random, remote, map that to the note length. Yes. Yes. This is brilliant. I love music. Music is so good, isn't it? It's so satisfying. Yes. Okay, now I want some timpani. I'm going to use Reason again. And this time I'm going to use Object. Object has a timpani preset. I haven't really explored these instruments yet. I've just been having a look at the presets. But there is a timpani patch here. Yeah, brilliant. So for that, we'll make a clip here, set it to 2 bars long. And I think maybe I'll just draw in some 8th notes here. The pen. Whoops. Yeah. And then maybe for these last ones here, they can be 16th notes with a ramp on the velocity. Oh, yes. This is going incredibly well. I'm going to group these and give them like a low probability, and then all of these, give these a low probability and some deviation on the velocity. Let's see what that's like. Okay, they're all the same note. That's okay. We'll go to our MIDI. Oh, I'm trying to do new things with the browser. It's throwing me off. Random, right? Random, scale mode, chants up full, bi-directional. All right, what I'm going to do now, duplicate these clips. I'm going to make them twice as long so that some of these events can happen for a bit longer. I'm gonna have to do this one at a time, so I'm just selecting the clip, selecting the clip, selecting the loop brace, and just pressing ×2. And then we can listen to these. They're slightly longer phrases with these. Oh. Yes. Yes, very good. Okay, I think I want maybe some less sort of staccato chords. Let's get another reason in, another friction. Let's go back to this first scene. Oh, I started recording a clip, didn't mean to do that. Yes. Yes. Yeah. I need to get used to these icons. So that is Max for Live. That's plugins. What's that? Modulators. Okay, so that is MIDI devices. Slightly weird. Anyway, let's get the chord in. Let's get the chord. Let's scale away the chord. Just draw in 3, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then get a random in, put the random in here, scale away that, whack up the chance, get a copy of that, put that there, and we should get something like this. Yes. Now for this one, I'm going to use the mod wheel on the instrument, because what that does is just kind of add a little bit more sort of intensity. I'm going to automate that mod wheel. So we'll go into our envelopes for this clip. We'll go down here, go to MIDI control, go to, whoa, where is it? I can't see. There we go. Modulation wheel. And we'll maybe put something here and something here. I'm going to hold Option and just put a little bit of a curve like that. And let's see what that's like. Could maybe have one at the start. Just come. Yeah. Okay, very good. Let's pull down the chance on this one, 50%, and then I'm going to put another note in there and group these. Go to the chain, go to the key zone. Whoa, what have I just done there? Okay, C2, and then another chain here, C1, C2. Get a random, put that on this chain. 11 choices, 100% chance, no scale awareness, and then that's going to randomize the articulation. Very good. Yes. Yes, that's that. Let's take a copy of this clip. Let's trigger this scene. Okay, let's make that clip twice as long. I think we can select the loop brace, go ×2. All right, let's listen to this. Okay. Okay, I think I want some crash cymbals now, so I'm going to go and get Reason again. And I'm going to use Object again because it's got a crash. It's got some crash cymbals. So Object is a modeling synthesizer. Object is a modeling synthesizer, which sounds really good. And there's some crash cymbals in here. What's this one? Louder, please. They're all kind of good. I'll go with this one. I could actually just copy the... Which one's the one that's the timpani? Yeah. All right, let's see what this is. Time for a little bit of reverb, I think. Bit of reverb on the piano. I'm just going to bus everything to the stock reverb. A little bit for the timpani. I need to rename some of these. Piano, violin. This is the violin, isn't it? Can't remember. Oh no, that's not a violin, that's piano. That's piano 2. Piano 2. This is the violin. The violin's not really doing it for me. I need a little bit more treatment on the violin. What can we do here? It's not even doing anything. Come on, do something. Can you see it? That's a major chord. That's a major chord as well. So weird. Just that by itself just sounded pretty interesting. Let's get a glue compressor in just to sort of round things off a little bit. So where's audio effects? There we go. Maybe get a copy of these clips and just see if we can pull the chants down on all of them. Really low chants. And we'll just have like one scene where nothing happens at all, just to give us even more space, because silence is just as tense. Hence why I'm injecting some right now into my commentary of this laborious task. What am I doing here? This one. And then, here we go. And then I'll have another one where there's loads of chants. My understanding is that you could sort of edit these all at once. But I can see that some... I can just get all of these maybe. Did I just do that? I don't think I did. Maybe do some follow actions here, just to sort of make it a little bit interesting. Sort of got this one bar, well actually that's two, this is 2 bars, and then these ones are sort of 4 bars, so let's get all of these. Go into the clip thing, go down to, oh, I've got this all laid out slightly differently. Right, okay, go to follow action on. Let's just go other, and then we'll say after 2 times, play another clip. Let's kick back and have a listen. All right, there we go. I'm quite happy with how that turned out. That was lots of fun. So I'm not going to summarize what I've just done because I've kind of forgotten it all. Basically, I went to the scale mode, put it into the half tone, whole tone, diminished scale, and then just made everything go nuts and used Reason. I think this friction thing is absolutely fantastic. I haven't really explored it much yet. It's just been really sort of messing around with the presets, and this object thing as well is really fun. I think I'll be honest, I think this UI is awful, absolutely awful. Like, what the hell is this? I think it sort of starts here, and then you go into this, and then this, and then this. And I think this can go into this, and this can go into this. And then I think you've got maybe some sort of partials, frequencies here that you can sort of set. Damping, yeah, that all, dispersion, that all sort of makes sense. And then there's a huge modulation matrix down here. Some built-in effects. I don't understand it yet. It's what's with this weird... It's so weird. And they've put these little kind of like scratches on it. It's so skeuomorphic and yet completely hyper real. Sounds amazing though. Absolutely fantastic. Okay, so there you go. If you are a Reason user and an Ableton user, you can get this from my Patreon. I'm going to go and put this on Patreon right now, where if you'd like to support this channel, you can do that and download this project plus many other projects going back nearly 10 years. Sometimes I post projects every day. Sometimes I take a little break and then don't, but I'm always posting stuff. And I certainly want to get back into using Reason. I think using Reason as a VST in Ableton is very exciting. And I'm actually looking at pulling out some of my old stuff and seeing if I can run it as sort of like a plugin in Ableton, which I think my brain can't handle the possibilities. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that, and we'll just play this out, and I'll see you next time. Enjoy making strange cinema music from 1980 or 1970. I don't know, from the 21st century. If you've made it this far into the video, leave a treble clef emoji in the comments. Thanks. Okay, I think you get the idea. I'll see you next time. Cheers. Bye. Bye.